Yeah, I mean, I think if you talk to any doctor, nurse or healthcare professional, they'll tell you one of the biggest challenges at the moment is staff members who are having to self-isolate, either because family members are unwell.
I just missed the bit I wanted to actually record, which is a nurse that was talking about who's in her intensive care unit and how there's actually quite a lot of young people in their 20s and 30s and quite a lot in their 50s, and actually a good half of them are going to die. If that doesn't make people stay in, I don't know what will. It's a scary shit.
I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
Every time I think I'm kind of plodding along and feeling all right, and then, you know, you hear stuff like that. It's scary.
And it does almost feel like a deployment because, you know, I think we feel like we're kind of in it by ourselves, the NHS staff, and there's lots of camaraderie. But it does feel quite hopeless sometimes. But I think people are trying to keep their heads up and keep turning up to work every day when they know that they face danger and they know that every time they go to work, you know, it is potentially dangerous. So I think from that perspective, it just feels similar. You know, it does feel like you're putting yourself at risk every day. But we know that it's our job, and you know, I think people are going to keep their heads high and keep going out of the door every day and doing it while they're able to.
I've been really struck by what you've said this morning, Amy and Dan, and just that example. If anybody is watching this morning thinking, underestimating the seriousness of the situation, I heard a really powerful account over the weekend as well, talking a frontline NHS worker like yourself, saying, put yourself in that situation, and you describing having to say goodbye to a family member on a video call rather than seeing them face to face. If that doesn't have an impact on you, then there's no hope, really, is there?
No, I don't think so. I can't see a worse situation to put yourself in when you've got the choice to not let that happen. And all you've got to do is stay at home. It's not difficult. We're not asking very much of you. Just keep yourself safe and stop the virus spreading.
Well, we're going to leave it there with that really important thought. I appreciate you both incredibly busy, and thank you so much for talking to us here on BBC.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck today as well. Thank you.
So today I found out that there's 35 confirmed cases on the Isle of Wight, which means those cases must be serious enough to have been tested. Not sure when our peak will be. I think there's less cars today. I think there was less cars last week, and then people kind of thought, you know, oh, it's a bit going away, or I don't know, I'll ignore it. But I do think there's a few less cars today. And I think just on the news, hearing the frontline stories is horrific and scary and depressing and frightening. And I hope it frightens people into staying inside, and actually that's the lesser of the two evils. Be bored, be stressed, be depressed is better, because at least you're alive. And I know the chances are that you might be fine, but there's pretty good odds that you won't be as well. And it's just not worth taking that risk. My Rupert's looking out of the window as ever. What can they see today? Just hope these people have important places to go. Oh, suddenly there's a rush of cars. Hello, darling. Hello. Hello. Have you had your walk? Have you? Time to go. Look at that tail. What you doing? What you doing? See these? Rowan. It's another day in the Bell House. What we're gonna do today?
Well, we're flying out to Ibiza.
Look who's coming. It's the White Lion. Hello.
Do we know where this is?
Nah. roller coaster one I watched, and Hester was like moving around the box and like it was actually in a roller coaster. What happened?
Have you done your hair today?
No. Who does their hair?
Washing line. Do love washing line. I know. Well, we might have to go on when we can leave the house. We might have to get you some more clothes.
I probably have loads of clothes.
Yeah, actually, that's on the list of things to do. Is sort out all our clothes.
I have loads of clothes that do fit me. I
Excellent.
just found on random things.
Okay.
I'm lazy.
Fair enough.
You got that on film. I'm filming.
I love it. That's really good. Oh, I like the bunched upness though. That's good.
Okay, I'll do more.
That's brilliant.
So hot. It turns me off whenever I accidentally trip over.
That's a bizarre look. Smudgy necklace.
To reinforce the message on social distancing, that people really realise why this matters, and if anybody had any doubt about what coronavirus can do, then that report should dispel those doubts. Now, the care I witnessed there was absolutely superb, but the sheer numbers of staff it takes, and doctors and nurses, was really astonishing, and it takes a heavy toll on them, wearing that PPE, that protective equipment for hours on end. And we donated protective equipment to the hospital so we didn't deplete their resources. And it has had a profound effect on me, seeing the resilience and the professionalism of the staff. Same sort of team at St. Thomas.
There are some signs that the rate of infection could be starting to reduce. The number of people dying in hospital from the effects of coronavirus has been doubling every few days. The figures for confirmed cases and hospitalizations are coming down. So is the peak of the virus in sight? And if it is, what does that mean for our day-to-day lives? Our science editor, David Shipman, investigates.
A village outside Rome, hit hard by the virus and now isolated by the army. Turned into a human laboratory, everyone is getting screened. Drastic action in a country where the daily death toll is at last dropping. In Spain as well, which has seen terrible losses, for 4 days in a row, the number dying has fallen. A sign that the strategy of locking down may be working. So when might the UK see a peak in the outbreak? Well, the working assumption is that that ought to happen in about 7 to 10 days' time, but it's very difficult to predict, partly because it takes so long for measures like social distancing to have an impact on the numbers dying. From the moment of infection, 5 days might pass before it starts to show, with the common symptoms of fever and coughing and of breathlessness. It could be 16 days before intensive...
What we know from the Downing Street statement just after 8:10 was he went into intensive care as a precaution should he need ventilation. So the suggestion at that point was he did not need a mechanical ventilator, which would have required sedation and a tube in his airway. So it's a precaution. Clearly the Prime Minister, they want to monitor him very closely. So that is the...
Oh, it's so scary, and I'm never going out ever again. Matthew's never leaving his bed.
I'm staying in bed till September.
I'm staying in bed forever. God, I look like my gran.
Sit alongside Boris Johnson in the Cabinet, Speaker Michael Gove, about the fact that the Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab is sort of the first amongst equals at the moment, leading things from the front. But constitutionally, feels like a very strange time, doesn't it? How do things function at a time like this, where we are living through a time which feels very unprecedented at the moment?
Yes, it's when Dominic Raab got the phone call from the Prime Minister. He is the first Secretary of State.
I was going to say, I thought there was 2 days when it had gone down.
3,634 confirmed coronavirus cases today. That is actually down. There are tentative signs that that may be part of the trend. We won't know for a week or so, but it's not accelerating upward.
Listening to quite a lot of the content in the official briefing in Downing Street earlier today, there was one very interesting admission, really, from one of those taking part about the comparison between the UK and Germany.
Yes, the Chief Medical Officer, Chris Whitty, said that the UK is trying to learn the lessons of Germany, which is leading the way on testing. So we're doing now about 14,000 tests a day, so better than we were.
There was something earlier on about a hospital in the south that's developed a test that only takes like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, Oxford done a test that worked in about an hour.
And it was
frontline NHS
wasn't even
workers
Oxford.
and then anyone with symptoms in the community because it is mass testing combined with social distancing to bring down the cases, which will enable us to get on top of this epidemic and get Britain back to work.
Fergus, once again, many thanks. Fergus watched there, our medical correspondent. Well, 2 more NHS doctors have died after testing positive for coronavirus. Dr. Anton Sebastian Pila, who was in his 70s, died in Kingston Hospital in southwest London on Saturday. It's believed he came out of retirement to help the NHS at this time. And tributes have also been paid to what friends call the dearly loved heart surgeon, Chandra Rathod.
Is it coincidence that they all seem to be an ethnic minority?
For a quarter of a century. Now, the first coronavirus patients have arrived at
a lot of ethnic minority doctors.
Nightingale Hospital.
So is it that there's lots of ethnic minority doctors rather than it being something about being an ethnic minority that makes you more susceptible?
Yeah.
Several such facilities planned across the UK.
It's just the more likely that they are a
Medical
doctor.
leaders from across the UK have urged people with any urgent and serious health conditions to continue to seek help during this pandemic. In a statement, the Academy of Medical Royal Colleges, which
just discussing with my husband while we sit here drinking tea in bed, and I was just saying how it's quite good to evaluate what you miss, and actually I don't really miss a lot. And what were the things I said I missed? I miss going to the beach and swimming in the sea. I miss being with my friends, although I do chat to them, and so that's really good. But I kind of enjoy, I suppose I miss being with Sandy and just like sitting around drinking coffee and discussing work and that excitement of getting a new job. I do miss that. And I was thinking about car boot sales, and I miss the thought of car boot sales. But actually there's not a massive amount more that I miss. And we were also saying how it's really nice to slow down and how you can start a project and think, I'll continue it tomorrow. And as somebody who is a very fast-paced person and impatient and always wants to get things done, and Matthew, who clearly isn't, I think it's really nice to slow down a bit, and I think actually I might look back and miss this time a little bit. We were also saying how it's a time to change how society works, and I was saying how it would be great to study it in years to come because it covers so many things like economics and social history and medicine and science, and it is really quite an interesting time if you look at it like that. What was that analogy I used? Oh yes, we were talking about, somebody shared something about education and how maybe education will change after all this. And I was thinking the other day about how everybody's lives will change, and different families' lives will change. And I was saying to Matthew, it being like a road, and you know, you go so far along the road and you can't go back, and you know, you think, oh, I wish I could, but I'm too far along the road now. And I feel like what coronavirus has done to, you know, on a big scale to the world and on smaller scales to families, is it's kind of shaken everything up, and all the roads have gone, and suddenly you're back at the start, and you can look down the road you were going down and you can think, you know, actually now I'm back at the start, I can do things differently knowing what I know. So it'd be interesting to see whether
what
things
change
change.
comes.
Well, it will though, isn't it? It's kind of like a perfect opportunity to reevaluate life and do things in a better way. But it'll be interesting to see whether people actually do or not.
Clearly my oxygen level in my blood had fallen to unacceptable levels, and they said, okay, you know, please, you're going to come with us. And that's really when my journey in hospital began.
You say you went through the mill. I mean, your own dad's funeral from hospital.
Yes, that's absolutely right. He died on the 20th of March, and I was taken into hospital on the 21st. And yeah, I mean, who would have believed it? When my father was buried, there wasn't a single member of the family in attendance. My mother and one of my sisters by that stage had also been taken off the hospital. And my other sisters, you know, everybody was self-isolating at that stage. But we did actually have a video clip made of the ceremonies. 15% of my body weight. I've got no backside, I've got no thighs, my face probably looks a little bit battered. But I tell you what, I'm alive and it feels great.
Oh, reminds me of Ron.
Today, Hilton, is we're sort of asking people to send in their love for their heroes, you know, NHS workers, frontline workers, key workers, all those people. I'm sure when we see, as Louise said, when we see that video of you coming down the hall of the hospital and people clapping, and you've talked to us about that emotion, I'm sure there are individuals and just the general staff who you'd love to pay tribute to this morning as well.
Well, absolutely. I mean, these really are the heroes of the moment. I mean, these are the Spitfire pilots of 1940. And unlike the rest of you, who, you know, the whole nation, know how special the NHS is. The difference for me is, of course, I now know these individuals by name. I can put faces to these kind people. You know, there's Maggie, there's Anita, there's Rachel, there's Pretty. You know, and I just want to say thank you to all of those people from the bottom of my heart, because it's only because of your care, your compassion, your professionalism, your dedication that I am here speaking to you today.
Well, do you know what? You're filling us with emotion and
Yeah.
and passing on. It's a really wonderful thing to see you. What are your plans?
My plans? I have no plans. I'm taking it day by day. I'm trying to put on a little bit of weight. I'm walking a little bit further every day. I mean, I can now walk about, 300 yards. And my goodness, I just appreciate every little thing. I don't need to have big plans, For days, I was fantasizing about a piece of toast and marmalade. That's enough for me. I'm grateful. I don't need a sort of steak frite or whatever, just a simple thing. So I'm just loving being here talking to you. It's great.
It must feel good to come out the other side. Still lots of cars.
It doesn't mean restrictions in place to slow the spread of coronavirus are likely to be lifted or eased in the near future. It's too early.
It's an exciting day. The eggs have hatched in little baby So tempting to give him a shove after nearly 4 weeks of isolation with him. I could just push him right in to the flower bed. What, darling?
Can you see the chicks in the paper?
Yeah, they're cute.
Send a picture.
Yeah. Love you.
Oh God, I forgot I'm singing. That means they're now calling backup, but to these guys. Germans are smart.
Watching Mr. Bean and knitting. This is 3 days of perseverance with your knitting. It is. You've done really well.
Washington. Freedom at midnight. As the lockdown was lifted, Wuhan put on a light show and the people breathed after 11 weeks in which none was allowed to leave the city and many were confined to their homes. Then they got out of town as quickly as they could, many by car before sunrise. Some by rail. They had to queue for a temperature check at the station before catching the first train out, the 6:25 to Beijing. Others went by plane. They had 3 temperature checks before embarking. No one is allowed to leave Wuhan unless they have a green QR code on their app to show their health status.
1月21号开始没出门，然后一直到今天，然后头一次出门，然后现在是去找父母。对。你肯定想，你不要再说了，再说哭了。因为也比较意外，就没想过会在这儿待那么久。
But despite today's triumphal propaganda showing health workers returning to their hometowns, doubts remain over how the Chinese Communist Party handled the outbreak in Wuhan, where the pandemic started. After initially punishing local doctors who raised the alarm, on December the 31st, China notified the WHO of an unknown illness and shut down the suspected source, Wuhan's Huanan seafood market. By mid-January, although cases were spreading in China and abroad, the authorities denied evidence of human-to-human transmission. Then, the Wuhan authorities organised Chinese New Year celebrations, which thousands attended. Less than a week later, as cases multiplied, the city was locked down. Last weekend, what little traffic there was came to a halt, a substitute for the traditional annual ceremony of sweeping the ancestors' tombs. Some were mourning the health staff who perished, including Dr. Li Wenliang, who was penalised for going public about Covid-19 and who later died of it.
The moon. It's weird. Every now and then I still have thoughts that this is a dream. To make one heart, to put the seeds in, and it's something to stand them in. My attempt to start eating better, although Matthew's just bought a load of ice cream. Babies, I'm going to be quiet now and see if I can film inside.
Right, Benji, I'm going to start matching them up. It's a potion. Right, Benji, 10 people cuckoo.
Oh, I think we're already gone cuckoo, so you don't need that. Maybe you could make us uncuckoo.
Benji, do you want to go look around the garden for any more flowers?
I've just come up the garden to check the seeds. See if anything's come up. I'm not very good on knowing how long it takes things to come up. Have a look. I think, oh I don't know, I thought maybe there were some carrots. I think maybe there are, maybe there. I threw some spinach in here and I reckon that's maybe what that is. Very exciting. We have 2 potatoes coming up. So a local photographer called Graham is going to take our photographs, and he's going around the island doing photographs of people in isolation. And today it's our turn. There he is, getting his camera ready.
Is it better to stand by our...
Do you want us back here or down there?
Yeah, and just hold the branch, that's it. Will it wobble? So if you come across a little bit, just there, that's it. That's it, perfect. You need to straighten that tie, sir. Everybody's bored and they're watching.
And actually, to be stuck anywhere, this is quite a nice place to be stuck at the moment. So, not being funny, I'm lying here in the conservatory and there's so much traffic. They can't all be key workers all going on essential journeys. I feel like it's a muddle of how it makes me feel. It makes me feel cross. It makes me feel, what's the point with a bloody nation of people thinking they can do whatever they want? And then I think, are they right? Maybe we should just go out and then I think, no, because that's selfish. I can't believe how much traffic there is though, and I can't believe how many people are just going out and doing what the hell they want. Just makes a whole farce of the situation. What a horrible sight. What a horrible sight!
That's a very nice. I thought you said I had rosy cheeks.
Dear. It's so exciting, the small things in life. Oh. Thanks to Medina Foods. It's that time of the week. It's virtual pub quiz time. It's our third one. It's what we look forward to at these strange times. And Easter eggs, apparently. Oh, and ice cream that we had from Medina Foods delivery, because they can't deliver to hotels. There he is. Hi. Hi. Happy birthday to you.
There's not many people who can say that they're celebrating their birthday with 17,000.
We're just going outside to clap. Film our neighbour over the road.
So loud.
That red dot is the moon. That is awesome.